What's up guys, it's Mike and this is the second video into the Tattoos and Tackles series. I'm about to sit down and start designing a tattoo for my friend Shannon. She's getting tattooed tomorrow. I've got some snails that just came in the mail for my fish tanks. I'm gonna drop them in and get some footage of that so y'all can see them. And I think I'm gonna carry this video over to tomorrow also so I can get some footage of the tattoo process and show y'all how it turns out and everything like that. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, we got our first layer of tracing paper out. We're just sketching some real rough shapes here to get our proportions laid out. The main concept of this design is going to be a tree of life, and she wanted to incorporate some planetary and celestial things in there with it. And this is going to be a full color piece. And like I said, on that first layer, just keep it rough. You're really just trying to build simple shapes here. And Ollie's come over here to give me her thoughts and critiques on the piece. Alright, first layer's finished. Gonna pull out a new sheet of tracing paper and a darker pencil and just kind of refine up our sketch here. After you get your refined sketch finished, you're gonna pull up one more sheet of tracing paper and we're gonna make one more clean outline of this, nice and crisp for the final outline. And for this outline, I'm using a Stedler 1.2 liner. That's one of my favorites to use. And I'm just gonna finish up this outline and then I'll do the mock-up shading and coloring when I get into the shop. I'm gonna go ahead and unbox these snails and drop them into the tank. I ended up getting some jade mystery snails as well as a couple different types of narite snails. Mystery snails are supposed to eat up the dead plant matter as well as taking care of any like excess food waste. And then the narites are gonna hopefully clean up the algae that started to bloom on the glass and on the plants. Put these guys in some baggies and then drop them in the tank just so they can get acclimated real quick. Sun-horned narite just chilling. His colors got a lot more vibrant once he got into the water. And mystery snail going in. These two Batic narites did not want to let go of each other, so I just dropped them in as is. cool to see that it did not take them very long to get to work. Such an interesting looking creature. If I didn't know any better, I would say that these were aliens. Dropped this guy into the beta tank just so he can keep everything nice and tidy in here, and also give the beta fish just a little bit of company so he's not so lonely. I dropped one of the mysteries into the tank at the shop too, but it didn't take very long for these crabs to start trying to make a meal of him. So I'm gonna have to pull him out and put him in a different tank at the house. All right, we're back at the drafting table. I'm gonna put some shading and some color into this piece real quick before Shannon gets here. I'm just gonna go through and hit all the black first. Black's in. I'm gonna start laying in some colors. When you're coloring something like this, you definitely do not want to just color it in solid wall to wall. You want to be very mindful of where you put the black, and then you want to be very mindful of where you put in your color, and ensure that you're leaving some skin breaks in there to add dynamics and some dimension to your piece. Now we need some kind of background to kind of connect the foreground and all these floating elements that we have in the background. And instead of drawing it directly on top of my final rendering, you'll see that I pulled out a separate sheet of tracing paper and drew out just a rough flow, and then put that under the sheet so I can kind of work with that on top of it. Having some flow in the background is important because it shows dynamics in the piece, shows movement, and it adds direction so it doesn't just look like everything's a jumbled mess. It will make the whole piece appear way more cohesive. Gotta finish up this last piece of background, and then it is tattoo time. shading, I switched machines over to a mag. I believe I outlined this piece with a 14 liner, and I'll be completing the rest of the piece with a 7 flat mag. Black is finished. Time for some color. wrap up this video. I hope everyone enjoyed a little look into the tattooing process. If you did, please like the video, and if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to feel free to drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear any feedback from y'all, whether it be questions about me or anything that I'm doing, or if you'd like to see a specific piece of content, you want me to make a specific flash or do a tattoo, or you want me to catch certain type of fish or use a specific lure, just let me know and I'll get through those comments. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.